faithful financial stewardship. In Matthew 6:19-21, Jesus admonishes us not to store up treasures on earth, but rather to store up treasures in heaven. It is easy to get focused on money and material things. However, because those things are temporary, it is the wise Christian who focuses on treasures in heaven. Colossians 3:2 states, "Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things." May I encourage you to prayerfully ask God to show you how you need to adjust your focus from treasures on earth to treasures in heaven.
Thanks for listening to Focus on the Family. Let's resume now with the balance of today's programming. And Jim, you mentioned having a list of rules printed up. One of the things we never did, and I wish we would have, is have a family motto. And Kevin, you spent some time in the book talking about family mottos and how that kind of imprints us and how we kind of lead and parent that same way we grew up. One of yours is pretty obvious, and Jim shares this one. It's let's have fun. Talk about that a little bit.
It's a last-born thing.
Yeah,
right?
what does the family motto of let's have fun lead us to be like as parents?
Yeah, it can get us in trouble once in a while, that's for sure. Yeah, you have to understand that you took away as a youngster a mantra about life. Those mantras are things like, I only count in life when I have fun, when I'm the center of attention, when I get people to do what I ask them to do. Now there's your typical baby of the family. They are social, they can be fun, they're whimsical, they change from moment to moment, they can sell dead rats for a living. I have an early childhood memory of selling bags of dirt in sandwich bags, door to door, for 10 cents a bag.
And people bought it.
Yeah, and they were silver dimes back in those days, I want you to know. People bought them. But so you grow up with that, and now you're a daddy, and my wife remembers me taking little Holly, our little Holly Dolly, we called her, our firstborn, and I would say, little Holly's flying through the air, and I'd throw her in the air like a lot of dads do, and And get her up at about 8 feet. My wife was done. I mean, it's like we got this fun thing, and it walks, and it wets, and it does all kinds of things, And thank God I married the firstborn who had rules. Okay, and she was a good balancer for me. So our kids actually ended up in a pretty healthy environment.
They never got seriously injured.
But I shouldn't admit this, but when I drove our youngest, Lauren, to school in the morning, we have 5 kids, okay? I'm driving little Lauren, she's in 7th grade, to school. And we had different things that we would do. And she always had a little girlfriend. I picked up a little girlfriend with her in 7th grade, and I'd drive her to school. And we had special delivery day, where I literally came into the parking lot. They have a flat sidewalk approach, and that's why I say I shouldn't say this on air. I would drive right up to the door. I was 6 feet from the door and let the kids out. And of course, the other kids, I became known as, I was very popular on the campus.
Crazy dad.
Crazy dad, thank you. I'm glad you said that.
Just popped into my head.
Yeah. We did crazy fun things. Would Mrs. Uppington, my bride, ever do that? No. There are rules. You just don't do things like that. And so the atmosphere, and that's what I want parents to understand, is whatever you grew up with is somehow going to be communicated to those kids.
And I would like to add that God puts men and women together who are unlike each other, who are different, and we're often
Generally.
opposite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And now in hindsight, I appreciate those differences in parenting. It's really important. It's
Wait a second. Say it again.
I really appreciate you, Jim, as a father. He was the fun dad.
But he was the good guy, the fun guy. You were Attila the Hun, the chaos, all these things.
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
But, we learn from each other.
Oh, that's true.
And I've learned that I need to grow up, to put it bluntly.
I'm with you there.
Life isn't always a party,
Kevin, one of the things you point out in the book is that we as parents can inadvertently kind of pave the way for our kids to misbehave. I think it's a really important point. So how do we do that?
We train them to misbehave.
But be specific.
Well,
I mean,
when you go in a supermarket or a store, mommies, I'll pick on you. What's the conversation with your kids?
I want that.
That's the first thing. So what does the parent say? All right, listen up. We're going in the store. Don't ask for a thing, because the answer is no.
Wait, have you had a recorder
Yeah.
in my van?
Oh yeah, but that's what we do. Well, what have we just said to the kids? And no running around, no fooling around, and don't ask for any candy.
Say it again, just so they can hear you.
Yeah. Well,
Say it louder.
what happens is you've just said, I really don't trust you. You're going to misbehave. And what do the kids do? They misbehave.
Okay, so what's the right way to do that?
Well, I think you take advantage of situations where the kids are very well behaved and very respectful, and just a simple comment that, I got to tell you, that was really fun today. It was really fun to be with you guys, and I got to tell you, I'm proud to be your mom. I'm proud to be your dad.
Mm-hmm.
I look around sometimes, I see how other kids behave. I just got to tell you, I call it slipping your kid a commercial announcement. And you have to slip those messages to kids. And the kids walk away with, guess what? Mom and Dad believe in me. And that's really important, that a son or daughter feels like you have their back. I was in our summer cottage this past week back in New York State. I was going through pictures, and I found all the Father's Day cards. They make me cry to this day.
No.
But I look at what the kids have said, and they just, the words are a little different, but they all convey sort of the same thing. That you always had my back, you always loved me as I was, you didn't compare me to my sister or my brother. And I think each kid always felt like they were the favorite. And so, parents, listen to what I'm saying. Your words make a difference. Those words of encouragement that you give to your kids, that's that indelible imprint. Those two big boys of yours, Gene, I got news for you. I know they're big like your husband, but they have your indelible imprint on them as a mom. And every young man needs a good dose of, guess what? Femininity.
Yes.
Every young daughter needs a good dose of, guess what? Masculinity. So it's that cross-sexual relationship between a daddy and a daughter, a mother and a son, that are the building blocks to make that kid a real healthy human being.
Yeah, and it's so good, and our boys love their mom. I know that. So, Kevin, let's open it up. We've got some folks around the table here. I want them to have a moment to ask some questions. So let's move to that right now.
I'm Troy, and I feel like I'm kind of interpreting two different messages. One is like you were sharing at the restaurant, you got to put them in the high chair, and then another side is we parents can focus too much on the rules or being too strict on things. I'm curious what that balance is practically when I'm in the restaurant. Where do I bend? Where do I not?
I hope you're hearing balance, because it is a balanced attack. Using a sport analogy, you can have a great offense, but if there's not a defense, you're not going to do well. And that's the art of parenting. It's knowing when to throw that flag. It's knowing when to say, hey, time out. You don't talk to your mother like that. You don't talk to me like that. And it's action, not words. We use too many words with kids in parenting. We need more action. Sometimes you take the little buzzard by the beak, so to speak, or you pull the rug out and let the little buzzard tumble, as I like to say. And it's sort of shocking. You sort of blindside them. Honey, I don't feel like getting you a glass of milk right now. I don't feel like driving you to your girlfriend's house right now. Let them figure out what's wrong. Let them come around and say, is something wrong? Actually, honey, there's several things wrong. Are you ready to discuss them? Yeah. I didn't like the way you talked to me this morning. Now, there's your balance. I mean, Jesus told us to turn the other cheek. Okay? So do we go through life turning the cheek with people? If you look at Jesus' life, he was a man of action. He saw the money changers in the temple. He didn't turn the other cheek. He took action. And so that's the job of all of us as parents, to be able to discern, how far do I let this child go? What are our parameters? Remember, many times as parents, we want to just control everything. You just have to back off. Let kids figure out these boundaries here in the families. They pretty much know what mom and dad's expectations are. You don't have to remind them 1,000 times, like Jim shared earlier about, say please, say please, say please, say please. They get it. Don't you think the kids are saying after about the 16th time, what do you think, I'm stupid? You didn't think I heard the first 15 times you told me to say please? I got it, Dad. But we're creatures of habit. Don't poke your eye out. When was the last time you saw a kid poke his eye out? I mean, we say things to kids that are repetitive from our own mind. It makes the kids sort of shrug their shoulders, as I guess that's what parents do. If you want to connect with kids, you need to have a balance of tact. And that would be my message back to you, is you are hearing two messages. That there's times you take the buzzard by the beak and you make things happen. There's other times you let them figure it out that this isn't going to work out really good, and you sit back and you're almost laissez-faire, almost permissive to a point where they're in trouble and now they need help. Then it becomes a teachable moment.
Nobody ever said parenting was easy, right? And no matter what stage of life your children are in, you're always learning as a mom or a dad on how you can do the job better. And hopefully we've given some encouragement along the way today on Focus on the Family with Jim Daly. Our guest has been Dr. Kevin Lehman, and he shared a lot of insights from his book, Why Your Kids Misbehave and What to Do About It. And he'll have more to share next time.
And John, it was nice having my wife Jean with us in the studio as well. What I took away from this conversation was the need for parents to be more intentional and engaged. Our families are so busy today, and we often let the schedule run our lives. As a result, there's no family time left, no time for dinner around the table, or simply time to hang out and have fun with each other. We've got to change that dynamic in our homes. You want to see better behavior in your kids, right? Well, spend time with them, have regular conversations, and find fun things to do together. And I believe making your family a priority over a career or anything else will be one of the best decisions you can make in your lifetime.
Well, I'd agree, and that's one of the reasons Focus on the Family exists. We want to equip you as a mom or a dad to be the best parent you can be. That's why we create programs like this one and provide resources like Dr. Lehman's book.
Absolutely. Let us help you strengthen the relationships in your home. Contact us today to order your copy of Why Your Kids Misbehave. And when you get in touch, please consider a monthly pledge to Focus on the Family Canada. Monthly givers really help us balance our budget and strategically deploy the resources we need for the tens of thousands of parents who contact us every year. They're looking for help with parenting skills and passing on their faith to the next generation. You can be part of that family building ministry when you sign up for a monthly pledge today.
And of course, a one-time gift will also make a difference for families, and we welcome any support you can offer today. Our number is 800, the letter A in the word family, 800-232-6459. Or you can donate and get Kevin Lehman's book at focusonthefamily.ca. Another great resource we have for you is our free 7 Traits of Effective Parenting Assessment, which is an online tool. It'll take maybe 10 minutes of your time, and it's going to help identify your strengths and evaluate areas where you can maybe make an improvement or two. We'll plan now to join us for part 2 of our conversation with Dr. Lehman. You can do that very easily on your own time, whenever you want, when you download our mobile app. He'll be sharing one of the greatest gifts you can give your child, and that is time with you.
But you need to understand that message that the kids are feeling like they need more parent, they need more love, they need more acceptance. And that's the art of being a parent, is making that kid feel special.
Thanks for listening to Focus on the Family with Jim Daly. I'm John Fuller, inviting you back next time as we once again help you and your family thrive in Christ.
This is a big year. Half the planet will vote in national elections, including India, Russia, and the US. We have wars, very high inflation, big things that impact us all. What should you do to prepare for what might be coming? This is Kevin Horner from Horner Financial. We would suggest you create and begin to follow a written plan based on God's timeless wisdom. There are good things you can do. Start by giving us a call at 705-734-5555 or email kevin.horner@asante.com. Horner Financial, planning with purpose.
Horner Financial thanks you for listening to Focus on the Family. Barry Vacuums and Computer Elite invite you to listen to Turning Point.
Is your business internet slow and unreliable? It might be time to upgrade to a fast and reliable fiber solution from one of the nation's largest internet providers. More stable internet means less frustration and greater productivity. Businesses rely on fast internet for many of their workers day in and day out. Let Computer Elite handle everything from ordering the fiber to securely connecting your business network. We'll take care of all the details. One call, Computer Elite.
Vacuums, vacuums, vacuums.
Barry Vacuums, selling the best, repairing the rest.
Find top Canadian central vacuum brands.
Duovac, Beam, Cyclovac, Hayden.
The best portable vacuum cleaners.
German-made Miele, Sibo, and more.
Plus bagless and cordless stick vacs in stock at Barry Vacuums.
Commercial units by Nacecare, Ghibli, Johnny Vac, and Carper Pro.
Bags, filters, and belts.
Barry Vacuums, 215 Mapleview Drive East.
BarryVacuums.com.
The prophetic countdown continues to the day Christ returns for his church. Are you rapture ready? Today on Turning Point, Dr. David Jeremiah and guest Sheila Walsh share an encore presentation of their conversation about his book, The Great Disappearance, a biblical guidebook to give you hope and confidence as the day approaches. To interview Dr. Jeremiah, here's Sheila Walsh.
So lovely to see you all. So let me ask you a question. Does the state of the world ever make you anxious? Even fearful? The current political turmoil, economic uncertainty, and increasingly impassable ideological divides that seem to point to the end of everything that we know. And that can be discouraging, but what if I told you that it's also incredibly exciting, because it means that we are closer than ever to the return of our Lord Jesus Christ.